Hey everyone, it's Matt from Rattlebunny's Den. We're going to do a little something different today. We're going to do a little bit of a gameplay thing. Still in the process of putting together the new lab. It'll take some time, but we're going to visit the Bangorian Islands in Transport Fever 2 today. There are tons of people doing this, but it's a great game. And I thought I'd just throw something together and see if this garnered any popularity at all. If anybody really likes it, or we'll continue doing it. Otherwise, we'll find another game or something like that. This particular map is one that I created. What I did is I used a height map of Bangor, Maine, in that area, and just raised the water level to create the Bangorian Islands and create a bunch of fictitious towns. This here is Paddyland. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with the Colonel Failure kind of motif. I'm sure you guys have seen his channel. Colonel Failure is probably one of the most congenial gamers out there. Well, congenial is probably the wrong word, but he's great. He's hilarious. He's entertaining. Why he doesn't have 10 million subscribers by now, I don't know. So we're going to put in a cargo stop there to get some food going, kind of similar to the way he does things. Okay, so and we need both here. We do. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Put this one in there. I'm a stickler for getting things, straight, perpendicular, that sort of thing. Some people think it's, there's no point to it, but I really, for me, mentally it works better. Maybe that's the electronics guy in me, but for me, everything's got to be in its place and sort of set up that way. So let's get some road going here. Right. Bring up the topographical here. I know lots of people don't use this. I do. It keeps costs down. It keeps your slopes manageable, and you know what you're going to be putting your vehicles through before you get there. So let's get. Got to get a route from this farm over here over to our food factory, and I'm going to try to follow the contours here. It's going to be a sort of a roundabout sort of mountain pass sort of little deal here. It's not bad. All right, just follow these contours. You see the contour lines. Keep it between, and you can keep the road level to a point. Stay sort of in the middle, and the road will stay level. The more level you are, the faster you go, as everybody knows. But, yeah, so we'll get that going. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Pull around the corner here. Trying to stay in the middle of them. I don't want to rise it up yet. I don't know if we have to. Yeah, that'll work. And gotta look kind of close to see what they're doing. Checking to see if there's an easier way. Yeah. Let's not deal with that right now. What an odd angle that is. We can do that. Let's we're gonna keep going up a little bit. It's kind of a gentle rise, as you can see by the distance between the lines. Darker lines just mean you're reaching a certain level of feet, usually 100 or thereabouts in elevation. All right, let's see. That'll work. And the shorter segments you get, the more control you have over the level of the road. I'm sure it's been explained, but that's why I'm taking small chunks here instead of going. Well, all right, maybe this will be a little bit longer, but as long as we can keep it reasonable. Yeah, I think that'll do. Okay, and there's our objective down the way here. Still following some of the lines here. Ooh. could do a bridge here. Yeah, let's do that. I like this one. I don't know, it's just me. I have several mods installed. All these mods are available directly from the Steam Workshop, so I've had good luck with them working. You know, so I think most folks will. And at some point, one of these episodes, if we continue to do these, we'll leave you a list of the mods that we use in this. And towards the end, if we do a whole series of this, towards the end, what I'll do is I will I'll go ahead and upload the base save game, so you guys can continue on and if you choose to. Some places that's the thing. People like to play, try to do better than what you did, and I no doubt you guys will do a lot better than I will. Okay, this is our final hill. In my experience, you want to kind of stop a ways away and work back the other direction and meet somewhere in the middle. Otherwise, you end up with these really horrible lumps and bumps that just make everything look completely unreasonable. You know, it's like your highway traffic going over a ramp in the middle of the road. It's to me, and a lot, it's nasty. All right, so let's bring this up here and connect. What do you know? Not bad. And we're still doing all right. Okay, so now we need our truck stop. And let's see. We only need one because we're only getting one commodity here and nothing's coming out of it. So they're coming here full and hopefully full and leaving empty. So we'll put this here. Yeah, right about here. Try to get it straighter. And no doubt there's those of you out there that are a lot better at this game than I am, but you know, I'm not really a gamer per se. I mean, you know, I'm not one of those esports kids that oh, not a kid anymore either, but even when I was never going to be one of those esports kids. No way. Those guys are just, their reflexes are too fast, and there's no competing with them. Not for me anyway. All right, so now we got to put in a depot so we can actually build some vehicles. And again, it's probably OCD of some form. I got to keep this straight. It's got to work as close as I get it. And I think that will, yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. So now we make our route. Route, Matt. There we go. New route. Very good. Let's do our naming convention here. Conroad. Okay, Conroad, as I type this in here, Conroad to me is the same as Conrail back in the day. I'm from the Northeast in the United States, and we had a rail service around here called Conrail for a long time that stood for a consolidated rail. So in my book, Conroad is commercial consolidated road. So all of my commercial stuff, whether it's trains or boats or anything else, will be Conroad, Conrail, something along those lines. And it's good to stick to a naming convention, I think. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right. So, Route 1 done. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, looks good. Okay, so now we go to the depot. Pick out some. It's 1850, so we don't have trucks. We have wagons. Sticking to the Americans, just because this is based in on a map of the topography of the Bangor, Maine area. So we'll stick in the U.S. for this one, at least as far as vehicles go, for the most part. I'll be mixing and matching to drive people nuts, I guess. And why not? We'll have fun. I do paint my vehicles towards the route. That way, if I'm just watching regular traffic, I don't have to switch to the oddly colored view. But let's go check one of these out and see what he's up to, what she's up to. Top hats. Gotta like top hats. I think everybody should have top hats these days. Alright, so as you can see, there's a whole mess of them coming out there. Usually they will stagger a bit, but I don't think they will in this case because of the way we have it set up. But let's see what they do. And let's go off and find our next food item. That thing's rolling, so okay. Alright, so that's our food factory, and there's farms around, but there's no roads connecting right now. Could connect. Jump the road out in the middle of the woods. That's cool. I did try to make the terrain as close to what Maine actually looks like as I could, but I found out that when you cover all of the land with trees, it severely affects your how well it plays, your ability to actually generate all that stuff. And I'm working with one of the new 3000 series AMD processors and a 2080 Ti. You know, so it's not lack of power. It's just too many things to generate all at once, I think, is the problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and build a road here. It's got a decent curve to it, maybe. Alright, that's good. Also, when you build them in small segments, smaller segments, I mean, you know, it tends to be a little bit less expensive because you're doing less land work, which costs less. And the minute you see those large embankments pick up like that, it's the price that they want to charge you goes through the roof. So just take little chunks for now because we have a very limited amount of cash at the moment. This being our first year. I do also have the I guess we're gonna have to make a bridge here. Sometimes making a bridge is actually the most expedient way. Otherwise, I mean, you just slow down traffic like you wouldn't believe. Again, I'll take that kind of bridge. Nice blonde stonework. But yeah, it's a good looking bridge. You know, not bad. I'd imagine a little floodplain in there during the fall or spring when the snow melts. As has been mentioned on a couple of comparative videos, Maine gets a ton of snow compared to other parts of the world, particularly northern parts of the world. Although it does get less than some others. I've found out. I'm sure they get a lot more snow in places like Finland, Norway, Sweden, that sort of thing, and definitely Greenland. But alright, so let's build this. Stop my jabbering. Going straight through is expensive. Right into there. Make it look connect. That's good. That'll work. Alright. Alright. Let's okay. Let's build our truck stopping areas, or truck stops, or whatever you want to call them. Platforms. Okay, this is a farm. We got one thing coming out of here. And nothing being delivered. So get it as close as we can to the farm. Just for me. Easier to keep things straight. Okay. Alright. This is our food factory. We're gonna need two because we have grain coming in and food going out. So yeah, you need two platforms. It just works better, otherwise you get clogged. I actually haven't tried just doing one platform with 2 items, so maybe you wouldn't even get the second item. I'm not sure. Alright, so where are we now? Okay, this is our town that we're going to go into. This is Wistful Vista, and any of those folks familiar with old time radio, I believe it was the Fibber McGee and Molly show. The fictional town was Wistful Vista, and it's quite good. And no, I'm not that old. I don't remember when they were new on the radio. I was born in the early 70s, so I am an early gamer. Okay, so we get a new route here. We'll go from here to here to here. Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, let's see. Okay, so Con Road. And then, yeah, forgot the name of the town. Crap. Shoot. Okay, hang on. Ah. Wistful Vista. Yeah, I'm that old. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. So, Wistful Vista and Food and Grain. So we do handle both on this route, so I want to label what it is. It's easier to keep track of later. And if any of you that played any of the games, Train Fever, Transport Fever, or this Transport Fever 2, you'll know that very, very quickly through the game your routes get, the list of them gets huge, and they can get very confusing if you just leave line 1, line 2, and so forth. So we're going to do another depot over here. With trains later on, once most of the cities are connected in one way or another, I'm going to try to use just one train depot. Just be more realistic to the way things usually are. A lot of places, they didn't have they might have had an engine shed or something like that in each individual town, but in reality, they didn't have a like, for instance, back in the Steam days, Baldwin didn't have a factory in every town. That was just unrealistic. And these depots are essentially factories. They fabricate everything there. So one per map in this area would be pretty realistic. There might have been one in, let's say, Bangor, something like that, but otherwise there wouldn't be one. So, all right. So we got these guys going. And I colored them yellow, as you saw. And, the route is yellow. There is a mod out there to give you an unlimited number of colors in the palette, but for me, since I color things, it's hard to keep track. With matching colors for the different routes and stuff like that. Anyway, it's just me. Follow along with these guys for a minute. Want to take a drink? So they are headed out of town. Yeah, gotta wait for traffic. Even with horse and buggy, gotta wait for traffic. Wow. It's a parade. Look at them go. Speed things up a bit here. Check to make sure some of these things work. I do have the date speed set on 1/4, just to give us more time to build up the infrastructure and all that other stuff without, advancements and stuff like that getting us, to the point where we've just built a whole bunch of things that are now obsolete and have to go back and replace them right away. This kind of slows things down a bit and gives you the opportunity to enjoy your progress before having to spend the time depleting all of your cash to upgrade. We're a little over $1 million in the bank. 2 routes going, which is good. Yeah, so that's getting started. Like I said, this series is, at least I intend it to be a series. We'll see if people enjoy it or not, or if anybody even watches it. And this particular series will continue until either the game becomes unstable because it's too much, or we have everything hooked up and running and it's at least 2020. But we'll see. We'll see how long this goes. And again, it's going to depend on popularity and stuff like that. I'm going to try to do at least one of these a week. Once the lab gets completely together, I'm in the process of getting some furniture to actually put stuff on and all that. Oh, watch out, bear. Once that gets all together, then we'll get back into a lot of the electronic repairs. I want to revisit the Atari 2600 that I nearly killed last year. I want to try and rescue that, and got to finish up Ashley's game gear. Yes, I still have that. It's over a year. Why are you not going there? Okay. All right. Well, let's see what they're doing. Yeah, Ashley's game gear. It's been a year. Had some troubles with it because I didn't have the right equipment. And what I ended up doing is I ended up just working on it without the cameras and stuff like that, and got it to a point where it's back to working, but we still have an issue with the soundboard, not getting any sound from it. So we got to take it apart again and get it back together. But we'll do that. On top of that, we have what do we got coming up this year? We have a ton of Commodore 64s that we'll be taking a look at. We have some PS2s, Sony PS2s that are the thick version. And I have several of those that all, I think, need lasers. It's a typical thing that you see with those. They're not able to read DVDs, but they can read... this is not going to work. You can't go to the factory... It can't go to the factory and then to the farm. No, we gotta change this around. Let's get rid of that, and let's, we'll just put it at the end. Yeah, that'll work. There you go. Alright, that's in a better order. See if it, otherwise you got them running around the map with the full wagon, wasting nothing but time and money and resources and all that other stuff. And, so we'll, continue on with this. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. PS2s, like I said. I've got a Coco 2 that's got to get looked at, a couple of Atari 800s, and a few other things that are going to be really, really kind of interesting. And I hope to continue doing this stuff too. Eventually, I might split it off into another channel. But otherwise, for now, this is Transport Fever 2. I'm Matt from the Rattlebunny's Den, and I'll see you all next time.